Our first guest this evening is I think this might be a record. He has 2 shows on HBO, which weirdly you can see back to back. The White Lotus and the Righteous Gemstones, Sunday nights on HBO Max. Please welcome Walton Goggins.
I'm fantastic.
It's very good to see you. Boy, you're such a good actor. You really are. I could see why HBO wants you on 2 different shows. You really are.
Thank you for saying that.
This is really interesting to me because, and I wonder, did you know this was going to happen, that you would wind up playing 2 characters in basically the same hour of television?
I didn't know that because it's never lined up that way before. I mean, the Righteous Gemstones has never come on after the White Lotus before.
And you've not been on the White Lotus before.
No, I haven't,
right,
but
right.
I'm on it now.
You are on it now. So this is, I see this on my drive into work. They were taking down the White Lotus billboard, this huge, huge billboard, and they were putting up the Righteous Gemstones billboard, and you were on both sides of the billboard, both characters. As they, in the Radio Gem Studis, which could be a nice new show for HBO. That's exciting.
Well, I thought that would either prove that I have range or that I have borderline personality disorder.
Listen, they're not mutually exclusive. They could be the same thing.
That's very
Which
true.
season did you shoot? Which show did you shoot first?
We shot the White Lotus first.
White Lotus
first?
Yeah,
and we went down, I think, in January, and we were down there for almost 7 months. It was a really long shoot. And, and this person that I play is going through a lot emotionally.
Yeah.
So, and it took a lot out of me, and I literally, I went home for 5 hours, on the way to the Righteous Gemstones, and I told Danny, and I said, I have nothing left in the tank, man.
Oh, it started that quickly?
Yeah, that quickly, yeah. I had to get, on a flight, from Thailand, a couple of stops there, and then landed in New York, home for 5 hours, and then went straight to Charleston and went into wardrobe, and then the show kind of started. And the very first day I was there, I walked on, and I really had no idea who I was. And I'm looking at these ridiculous clothes that Baby Billy wears, right?
Yeah.
Thinking okay, I'm a grown-ass man. What am I doing here? And the very first take, I only had 2 lines, and Danny, was talking, and it comes my cue, and I just look at him I gotta say, I know nothing. I don't know nothing to say. I don't know my lines or anything.
I laugh every time I hear Uncle Baby Billy. I really do.
So do I.
It is just it's so funny. Well, being from the South, is that do you know
everyone's named Uncle Baby Billy.
Yeah, everyone's named Uncle Baby Billy. I did not know that.
Yeah. Uncle Baby Billy's Bible bunkers. There's so many things that it says. You can't say Uncle Baby Billy without smiling.
So Danny McBride was here last night, and he was, even after the show, he encouraged me to ask you about something in particular, which was your character, Uncle Baby Billy, has a nude scene this season. 70-year-old character. You play an older man.
An older man, yes.
And it's full frontal nudity.
Yes. And it wasn't I had a double.
Right.
That it wasn't my but and I don't get to pick that, right? I don't get to pick
you should,
who represents me. I mean, I think there was a time in the business where where that was a possibility, but
why don't you get to pick?
HR. Something about lawsuits and.
Danny said they can't see it before they hire it.
Kinda. I don't know if Danny saw it first or a producer saw it first. But you can hurt someone's feelings. if if they come in the room, or if you're looking at a photo and you're like, nope, no, yes, okay, I'll take that.
So there's a lot of anticipation for you when you see who you're
when you're
be.
Yes, when you're kind of coming up to it. But what I do get to do, and then I'll tell this one story about after the scene was kind of shot. But what you do get to do for your double is dictate your double's movements, right? And so it's the scene, it's my scene. I have underwear on, when I'm doing it. And the line that I have is, this is what a man looks like. Right. So when I'm sitting there, and Baby Billy is, he's messing around and kind of moving around, and he gets to this point, and the kids are like, like not listening to him, and he just starts taking down his pants. I've got my underwear on, but he takes down his pants, and then it's like I start shaking. You know, it's like I start jiggling or doing this, and I'm like, this is what a man looks like. A man looks like this. And then the second take, I swear to God, I got a little emboldened after this, like the first take, right? So the second take, I kind of walk out and I do the same thing, and then I start using my hands. And Danny says, no, don't do that. Because no one wants to look at your double touch himself.
Well, Danny's got a very, there's a line that you do not cross with Danny, and once the hands get involved, then it becomes obscene.
You know what I did do? I will say this, that, and I don't know if Danny talked about this last night, but...
The guy with no testicles?
Yeah,
he did. Yeah.
I went up to the producer like after, because he's the only person that could sit behind the monitor, and you don't want to make anyone feel bad, and you really like it's okay, we're all trying to do this together, and thank you so much for lending me your like I appreciate it. Yeah. But I did go up to him and say like, so how was it? Was it a good representation? And he said, well, that was man, it was great, but you don't have any balls.
The man came in, and this is a man who volunteered himself for this job.
Yeah.
And he was sans testicles.
He was. Yeah, he was sans testicles. But you know what? I don't know if he told you this. I actually have two doubles, two frontal scenes in this. You may not have seen this episode. I forget what episode it is, but I'm also water skiing naked.
Yeah.
At some point in the season. So that was a different guy.
Oh, wow.
Because the first guy didn't know how to water ski. So I got two.
Really?
Yeah, I got two.
That was the hold-off. Wow. Hooray for Hollywood.
Two shows on
Walton Goggins is here. We'll be right back.
Go.
Then put the python around your neck and take a picture. Smile. Wow. The cheese.
Rick? What are you doing?
That is Walton Goggins in the White Lotus. That was last week's episode of the show. That was a really good episode. You get your character gets high. You then start freeing snakes. Were those real snakes?
Yes, yeah, they were real snakes. All of them were real snakes. And I don't just have a phobia, it's like a missing link when it comes to snakes.
Oh, you do?
I am terrified of snakes. I'm really, really terrified. And there's something like genetically wrong with me when it comes to snakes. Even though, for Rick Hatchett, the guy that I play, these snakes kind of represented him. And, metaphorically speaking, he was releasing these snakes because he wants someone to release him from his pain. That meant nothing on the day. The only thing that I'm looking at is these snakes. And it got so bad that I had I had the snake handler like right off camera, because when I picked up the snake for the very first time, I started crying like uncontrollably, right? And then, like right when we're getting ready to do that very first scene that we just watched, releasing
You're really
all the cages,
crying.
Oh, hysterically, like hysterically. And it's
Wow.
like Mike White is looking at me like, oh my God, I don't want to torture this poor guy, but we need to get a close up. But and this really happened. They kind of walked you through the entire experience. They're walking around the cages and they're like, okay, this cage, don't touch this cage because this snake will kill you. This cage here, there's some snakes in here, but just don't touch the brown ones, right? And there's some green ones in there. And then this one over here, just don't open that one. And so I'm just like thinking about this. And all I'm thinking about is the very first cage where the snake will kill you, right? Like, don't open that. And the rest of it just goes out of my mind. And then they yelled, action. And it's like, okay, don't open the first one because it'll kill you. The next one, was it green or was it brown? Like, which one has a big bite? And so I started pulling the green one, and as I was pulling the snake out, he didn't want to come, right? And so the snake turns around and he bit me.
Oh, no. Oh, wow.
I haven't told that story to anybody. The snake turned around and bit me. And I wish I could have been cool, like I fancy myself a pretty cool guy, like, hey, yeah, I got a snake bite, This was my reaction, I swear to God. It was like, oh my God, I've been bit by a snake! Oh my God! It was horrific.
I don't blame you. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it was for
this
someone
is why
that is-
Danny told you not to handle your snake.
Yeah. Don't touch your snake.
Did you go to the hospital? Did you have to be hospitalized?
You know what? No, I didn't, and we had another 9 hours to go or whatever, and so just kind of stayed in it, and they put a little Neosporin on it or whatever, and until the next day, I get a phone call from the producer. I finally got it out of my system. It's like, you're okay. I get a phone call from the producer saying, hey, we've been thinking about it, and I don't know, we're thinking maybe you should go to the hospital. I said, for what? You said the snake was like non-venomous, right? Am I dying like a slow death? It's like, is there something I don't know? It's like, no, just we could get a tetanus shot, something like that. So I did go to the hospital and I got a
So in other words, they got a call from the lawyers at HBO.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And they made me sign.
They
that was
did?
the thing. Yeah, they made me sign that day that somebody just kind of came up. I'm so sorry you're not feeling too good. Listen, could you just sign this little, this little bitty piece of paper? And I thought, you want my autograph, or is this like I've just lost all of my rights?
They could have lost two shows counted for HBO. Well, it's great to see you, and
really good
thank
to
you
see
for
you.
coming. The two shows are The White Lotus and the season premiere of The Righteous Gemstones, Sunday night on HBO and Max. Walton, Goggins, everybody. We'll be back in right after. Oh my God, I can't believe it. We have 20 million subscribers on YouTube.
Unbelievable.
I only wish we got paid for this. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Help us get to 50 million, please. It's an emergency.